Yes, my peeps. Check in this morning. DJ Twin in our building, you know. Twin Supreme Radio Show at its best. Now, all our best this morning. You know, we under with a little bit cool come across. But guess what? Up on top of things this morning. So, you know, we're going to cover the same topic. So, we never finish. Because we never cover fear. Yeah, man, anybody tune in, man. Big up on the damn self. Twin Supreme Radio Show. Up running this morning, give thanks and praise for all our supporters. Yeah, man, this people I'm tuning. All our supporters, them, all I share them, all our subscribers, them, we tell them if you left one comment in the comment section. Right? So we do a small endorsement and we go right in our show, right? Big up on themselves, all who check in live already. You see me? Ball and Boss Entertainment. Yeah, man, for your fine mixtapes recording. You see me? You know where you go. Water Lane Studios. You can check them out at Water Lane CMA. Crypto is here, my people. You see me? Upgrade on the knowledge, on the sense. Because you know where you're going. Crypto, I have to go right now. It's digitalized. The people are trying to digitalize the world. So digital money is here. You don't need to educate yourself or upgrade on the knowledge to what's going on. Alright, my people. Goofy's Garage on South Spring Road for your finest mechanic and bodywork service. Yeah, man, right past South Spring Road, right in front of Glendevon Health Center. So you can check them out for your bodywork service. See them there. We're going to cover, when they cover the topics I'm already start with. So, you know, we're going to cover fear this morning, how fear works, how fear keep you down, see me, and then we're going to get right to the energy work, because Orion endorse energy. So, yo, we want to do one topic for energy, see me. So, we go cross cut this morning with the show. We're not going to stay long, because this morning we kind of under the weather a little bit. But give thanks and praise. No, Twin Supreme Radio Show. You know, it's a Monday morning, so we're going to just do this. Right, my peeps? Big up on the damn self. The thing not set up like how we really want it, you know, as we say, you know. But guess what? We not have to start. We not have to great to start, but we have to start to be great. Because as we come along and we progress, people are giving more ideas and more insights. So, yo, you know, I'm going to pray this down. Do this away, yeah. Do this away, the same way. Anybody have any great ideas out there, any great question, can call. The number 530-3187 if you want to call in for the show this morning. So big up on yourself with all of who there, all of who lock in. So we now waste no time. We're going to get right in our show this morning. So we're going to cover fear, or how fear work. All right, my people? So no, just listen.
With the devil. I have uncovered the secret code by which I can pick up your thoughts. I have come to ask you some very plain questions. I demand that you give me direct and truthful answers. Are you ready for the interview, Mr. Devil?
Yes, I am. But you must address me with more respect. During this interview, you will address me as Your Majesty.
By what right do you demand such royal respect?
You should know I control 98% of the people of your world.
All right. You hear that claim there? You hear that state and that claim from the devil? I'm going to get a more clarity on the devil, because some people think I want devil with a fox. And you understand? Nothing like that, man. I just misleading with the information. You understand? So when you have a better understanding of what go on, just listen as we progress through the day. See me, we'll make it short and spicy this morning. Enticing.
Do you not think that entitles me to rate as royalty?
Have you proof of your claim?
Yes, plenty of it.
Of what does your proof consist?
Of many things. If you want answers, you will address me as Your Majesty. Some things you will understand, some you will not. In order that you may get my viewpoint, I shall describe myself and correct the false notions people have of me and my place of abode.
That is a fine idea.
So, listen, my people, I want to listen good. Same way. See, the devil going to go a better understanding and a clarity of his own personal self or own work. Right?
Your Majesty. Start by telling me where you live. Then describe your physical appearance.
My physical appearance? Why, my dear Mr. Earthbound, I have no physical body. I would be handicapped by such an encumbrance as those in which you earthbound creatures live. I consist of negative energy, and I live in the mind.
As me I talk about that same energy work, I see me as we go get that energy looking from this. Just like a few days, like Saturday, I go to class under the AC. And then when I left around class, I come out in the hot sun. Then when I go to be rain start fall, what you feel say happen? Look how flew they try to catch me, man, and I work for me, man, and me I work for you as well because me know how energy work. And me got a better understanding how energy work. And me know, so guess what, you say, lay down in your bed. Remember this man could have make an excuse and say, boy, me have flu, you know, dog. You know, right now, John, you don't feel good. Me not say them anything there, brother. Because I know how energy work, brother. I have a better understanding. So that's why I just want to clear up the people, man. I make them know what I want.
Of people who fear me. I also occupy 1/2 of every atom of physical matter and every unit of mental and physical energy. Perhaps you will better understand my nature if I tell you I am the negative portion of the atom.
Oh, I see what you are preparing to claim. You are laying the foundation to say that if it were not for you, there would be no world, no stars, no electrons, no atoms, no human beings, nothing. Is that correct?
True. Absolutely true.
Well, if you only occupy 1/2 of energy and matter, who occupies the other half?
The other half is occupied by my opposition.
Opposition? What do you mean?
The opposition is what you earthbound call God.
So you have the universe divided up with God. Is that your claim?
Not.
That's why I see church theory with the people that sell God, the notion of selling God. You really have to think about it in a real sense. Oh, this really work. Because you several brother, several different mind. So you can't make these people think for you, you know. You have to question them. Anytime you go to one church, just question a pastor or question anybody in charge and hear what they have to say.
My claim, but the actual fact. Before this interview is finished, you will understand why my claim is true. You will also understand why it has to be true. Or there could be no world such as yours, no earthbound creatures such as you. I am no beast with a forked tongue and a spiked tail.
That me I try to clear up to the people, you know. So you see when the Bible, I tell you about say, oh, yo, you don't live right, you do this or you do that, or you go hell. Where is hell? Where is hell?
But you do control the minds of 98 out of every 100 people. You said so yourself. Who causes all the misery in this 98% devil-controlled world if you do not?
Me say stick up in my peeps. Me always telling you know, you see your thoughts, you have to watch your thoughts keenly. Because say you wanna brain you tell you things when nothing not go so. Then you have to ask yourself these questions. Say, yo, where you get that thought from, dog? Who tell you this? How you know say what you think to yourself is true? Then most of we as people now, when we brain think something or one thought coming our head, we look for people and we start praying them. So you know, say, boy, I pray me, dog. Yeah, man, another thing, boy, I pray to you. Know. How you know? But man, you know, your personal self, you know, bring a thought to you, you know. So you see your conflict can and amongst us as people, because this is something, you know, where we, you know, as people, you know, supposed to have a better understanding of if they will give you right information from beginning, though. As me always say, if you think negative or you think positive, either way, you're right. Because if you say you can't do it, you're not going to do it. But if you say you can do it, then what you go do? Then you go can do it because it will power the way in your mind. As me say, you know, everything, you know, come through meditation, you know, brother. Because you have to go meditate, you know, get within yourself, you know, brother. Get silent, you know. And then you can listen to yourself and talk to you, know, brother. Then you can have a better understanding.
And I have not said that I do not cause all the misery of the world. On the other hand, I boast of it. It is my business to represent the negative side of everything, including the thoughts of you earthbound people. How else could I control people? My opposition controls positive thought. I control negative thought.
So how much time for the day, my peeps? Twin Supreme Radio Show fans. How much time for the day you look on it? How much negative? You ever count how much negative thoughts versus how many positive thoughts come in a year head per day? Get a calculator. And while these thoughts come along in your head, start check them and tell me what you get.
How do you gain control of the minds of people?
Oh, that is easy. I merely move in and occupy the unused space of the human brain. I sow the seeds of negative thought in the minds of people so I can occupy and control the space.
You must have many tricks and devices by which you gain and hold control of the human mind.
To be sure, I employ tricks and devices to control human thought. My devices are clever ones, too.
Go ahead and describe your clever tricks, Your Majesty.
One of my cleverest devices for mind control is fear. I plant the seed of fear in the mind.
See it, my people? That's what me I talk about. That's why I ask these 5 questions to start Twin Supreme Radio Show. And one of the biggest one, what is fear? What is fear all about? How fear really work? So see, we go get wow broader understanding from one of the fear, the fear ruler himself.
Of people. And as these seeds germinate and grow, through use, I control the space they occupy. The 6 most effective fears are the fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Which of these 6 fears serves you most often, Your Majesty?
The first and the last, poverty and death. At one time or another during life, I tighten my grip on all people through one or both of these. I plant these fears in the minds of people so deftly that they believe them to be their own creation.
Yeah, what we are talking about from the show beginning until now, same way, when certain thoughts come up in your head as fear, as negative, one bag of negative thoughts. You think you can run these thoughts out of your head because you still have this power within you. And that's why I play the audio book the same way. And the audio book is Out Within the Devil, or the interview with the devil. You understand? So you get a broader understanding. You see, all right, if you are dealing with your enemy, right, and you get your enemy understanding or in think or in act and in ways, then now you know how to conquer your enemy though. But if you know go say, boy, I mean, no, if you do it fear, boy, yo, John, yo, right now, me not deal with no devil. You tell a man, say, yo, the interview with the devil, the first thing you do, you get afraid. See? The same fear again come back again, a playback trick for you. Because guess what? Negative thoughts, brother.
I accomplish this end by making people believe I am standing just beyond the entrance gate of the next life, waiting to claim them after death for eternal punishment. Of course, I cannot punish anyone, except in that person's own mind, through some form.
That's why God will tell you, say you have eternal life. But guess why people misinterpret it with the story in the Bible about Adam and Eve eat apple, and because Adam go eat apple because Adam and Eve that he make Eve fool him. I just want nursery rhyme, I just want trick is a storyline. Me think saying because when me think on the way nobody else thinking. But what my understanding towards that Adam and Eve in the Bible, with the apple, was just a test. So my understanding of this is for sure people say you can't go in a relationship and you don't test your friend, your spouse. You can't go in a friendship and don't test your friend. There's no such moving on in a relationship, friendship, or none of these things without a test. So when you get in knowing or close to someone, you have to test them to know if they are going to withstand what is to come along the line, meaning if it come for long term or short term. Because we have to understand, as people, So not everybody have to win, brother. Not everybody come in our life, come to steal, brother. Some people come for a minute, some come for a second, some come for the day, some for the week, some for the month, some for a year, some for a lifetime. You ever meet somebody me travel, and there's several times me have this experience when I travel. Me meet this particular person. And it wasn't nobody when me and him go have no long-term relationship with, This person is just a door to the next person who is supposed to get to know. So when me get to know you you bring me to the right person who I'm supposed to move on with. I get to know somebody else, I know somebody else. So when we have a different understanding, I'm going to some friendship and say, yo, dog, yo, the man there, great dog, because guess what, we know him, so we move on. The boy corrupt, brother, people not corrupt, brother. You have to learn about people itself, have a brother, have a better understanding. So you see, once we start educate yourself, you becomes more calm. So me look on it, that way, I know how other people think, But the more wisdom and knowledge you gain, as the Bible says, a man to lean on his own understanding. Too much we are listening too much negative people, man. When there are negative people and them chat their negative, man. Now work with them, man. Get for your own understanding. May I tell you to listen to me, I tell nobody to listen to me. May I tell a man, say, well, guess what? Go out there, brother. Information there on YouTube. Just as information out there for waste your time, information out there for save your time.
Form of fear. But fear of the thing which does not exist is just as useful to me as fear of that which does exist.
Same way.
All forms of fear extend the space I occupy in the human mind.
Your Majesty, will you explain how you gained this control over human beings?
The story is too long to be told in a few words. It began over 1 million years ago when the first man began to think. Up to that time...
You hear that? You hear that? That's why when we as human beings start thinking for yourself, where people go say, yo, God no dog, yo, right now, until you start thinking for yourself, but people not really into you. People don't really feel like you are the best companion. You know, people will pattern in a relationship, and because you think for yourself in a relationship with your particular person, and you feel like you're in the right field because you can have your own understanding.
I might have control over all mankind, but enemies of mine discover the power of positive thought, place it in the minds of men.
And at that moment, people them know upon Twin Supreme Radio show. That's what I did a show ya to keep the people them more. Not negative, but positive. Because anytime you discover positive thought, I know so every time you think positive thoughts, you push out fear more and more out of your life, then you go start thinking more positive.
And then began a battle on my part to remain in control. So far, I have done quite well by myself, having lost only 2% of the people to the opposition.
I take it from your answer that men who think are your enemies. Is that right?
It is not right, but it is correct.
Well, tell me something more about the world in which you live.
I live wherever I choose. Time and space do not exist for me. I am a force best described to you as energy. My favorite physical dwelling place, as I have told you, is in the minds of the earthbound. I control a part of the brain space of every human being.
That's why I tell a man, you know, it's just like me and I carry a study and me and my friend a reason. You see one of my schoolmates and them talk about church, and if you come to church, come, you get God. And me I say, so, you know, look when it's a God in you. He must say, yes, God in them. So me I say, devil in you. No, devil. I say, calm down. A reason we are reason, man. So how the two forces work? Me think the two forces work just like the battery in the car, every other battery. Just like how you have positive, you have negative. And without positive, there's no negative. Without negative, there's no positive. Think for yourself, people. Open up your eyes.
The amount of space I occupy in each individual's mind depends upon how little and what sort of thinking that person does. As I have told you, I cannot entirely control any person who thinks.
You speak of your opposition. Just what do you mean by that?
My opponent controls all the positive forces of the world, such as love, faith, hope, and optimism. My opponent also controls the positive factors of all natural law throughout the universe, the forces which keep the Earth and the planets and all the stars balanced in their courses. But these forces are meek in comparison with those which operate in the human mind under my control. You see, I do not seek to control stars and planets. I prefer the control of human minds.
Where did you acquire your power? And by what means do you add to it?
I add to my power by appropriating the mind power of the earthbound as they come through the gate at the time of death. 98 out of every 100 who come back to my plane from the earth plane are taken over by me, and their mind power is added to my being. I get all who come over with any form of fear.
You see that, my peeps? You see that 98% out of every single human being were dead. The devil get feed them mind power. So you see how the devil would have strong then. Because look how people pray. Naturally. I be do something. First thing he do, he blame the devil. That's how the devil is so powerful. You know? Every single time with the individual first say then, who in blame, who in call first. That's why you see God can't powerful upon the earth like how the devil was powerful upon the earth, you know, brother. And the people are going like say, the devil like literally upon the earth and walk up and down and I do things. But I know the devil not do that. The devil are just swap energy. And every single time one human being get up and do something, a man go rob. Yo, I devil make me do it, dog. And kill somebody. Yo, God no dog. Yo, the devil strong, dog. God no, but you know, say, yo, the devil are work, daddy. The devil must have work. Life and death in the tongue. You speak the things into being. You heard that your mouth defile you. So if you call upon the devil at every crossroad, every interval, every turn you say, boy, yo, are the devil, you know that. A man cheat, he must say, yo, I devil, me do it. A girl cheat, I devil, me do it. Yeah, tell liar, so yo, I devil in the dog, yo, devil strong in the dog. Devil the most strong if you give devil your power, brother. And that me I try to show no better. Open up on the eyes, man. And believe in yourself, man. And what the power they way within every single human being. That's why we have Twin Supreme Radio Show same way. You see me? To give people a broader understanding of where we depend on how we look for life. Because everybody look for life from my viewpoint. I mean, I tell nobody how to think. But at the end of the day, guess what? We feel all things for yourself. You have a phone that we have. Whole day we have to God know the room. Whole day waste. Who waste a day? You waste your own a day, man. You waste your own a day. Right now, see you skip past away and them. Guess what?
Teach the children as because of what they do not teach them. The entire public school system is so administered that it helps my cause by teaching children almost everything except how to use their own minds and think independently. I live in fear that someday some courageous person will reverse the present system of school teaching and deal my cause a death blow by allowing the students to become the instructors, using those who now serve as teachers only as guides to help the children establish ways and means of developing their own minds from within.
Me have one son, you know. And I always have an approach. By the time I say certain things, people say, yo, you know, you're a madman dog. Me don't like things for me. Because guess what? It's a long term, I can't think for him. I can't go think for him. When he get bigger, if you always think for your picnic, tell him what to do, when to do, how to do, if he's a dog. He might go look to somebody else as parents when he get big, man, for them think for him. And it can be social media, it can be an ex-person, it can be anything. So you have to just open up your eyes and mind first.
When that time comes, the school teachers will no longer belong to my staff.
I was under the impression that the purpose of all schooling was to help children to think.
That may be the purpose of schooling, but the system in most of the schools of the world does not carry out the purpose. School children are taught not to develop and use their own minds, but to adopt and use the thoughts of others. This sort of schooling destroys the capacity for independent thought, except in a few rare cases where the children rely so definitely upon their own willpower that they refuse to allow others to do their thinking. Accurate thought is the business of my opposition, not mine.
What relationship, if any, has your opposition with the homes, the churches, and the schools? Your reply to this question should be interesting.
Here is where I make use of some more of my clever tricks. I cause it to appear that everything done by the parents, the school teachers, and the religious instructors is being done by my opposition. This diverts attention from me, while I manipulate the minds of the young. When religious instructors try to teach children the virtues of my opposition, they generally do so by frightening them with my name. That is all I ask of them. I kindle the flame of fear into proportions which destroy the child's power to think accurately. In the public schools, the teachers further my cause by keeping the children so busy cramming non-essential information into their minds, they have no opportunity to think accurately or to analyze correctly the things their instructors teach them.
Do you claim for your cause all those who are bound by the habit of drifting?
No. Drifting is only one of my tricks through which I take over the power of independent thought. Before a drifter becomes my permanent property, I must lead him on and ensnare him with another trick. I will tell you about this other trick after I finish describing my methods of converting people into drifters.
Do you mean you have a method by which you can cause people to drift so far away from self-determination that they can never save themselves?
Yes, a definite method, and it is so effective it never fails.
Do I understand you to claim your method is so powerful your opposition cannot reclaim those whom you have permanently ensnared through drifting?
I claim just that. Do you think I would control so many people if my opposition could prevent me? Nothing can stop me from controlling people except people themselves.
My people hear that? Nothing. Nobody that's when a man run going to church or even going to party church and can't save himself. Yeah, man, say man, only somebody, only person can help you your own personal work. Self. Just don't forget that. Just don't forget that. So you alone can help you. With what? You're thinking. What you think about how you look on it. For your own perspective or your own viewpoint. So in our life, every man have their own thoughts and their own viewpoint how they view things. That may I get to understand this morning. Big up on the damn self, Twin Supreme Radio Show, all who check in. People in their live, I stream this morning. Give thanks and praise. I swear. I feel good. Yeah, man, big up on yourself, man. You know, you come down already. As we there, same way, we now get draw the show this morning too long. You know, you come down. DJ in there in the building. And I with a little bit, like a flu there, I try to fight against the forces. But guess what? We now get too negative. We are still positive this morning. That's why we are cover fear this morning. We are cover interview the devil.
Nothing can stop me except the power of accurate thought. People who think accurately do not drift on any subject. They recognize the power of their own minds. Moreover, they take over that power and yield it to no person or influence.
Go ahead and tell me more of the methods by which you cause people to drift to hell with you.
I cause people to drift on every subject through which I can control independent thought and action. Take the subject of health, for example. I cause most people to eat too much food, and the wrong sort of food. This leads to indigestion and destroys the power of accurate thought. If the public schools and the churches taught children more about proper eating, they would do my cause irreparable damage. Marriage. I cause men and women to drift into marriage without plan or purpose designed to convert the relationship into harmony. Here,
you see that? See, you see on every marriage. You see on every marriage. You see on everybody I feel same way. Listen to them, listen. Listen to them, listen. Good.
Is one of my most effective methods of converting people into the habit of drifting. I cause married people to bicker and nag one another over money matters. I cause them to quarrel over the bringing up of their children. I engage them in unpleasant controversies over their intimate relationships and in disagreements over friends and social activities. I keep them so busy finding fault with one another that they never have time to do anything else long enough to break the habit of drifting. Occupation. I teach people to become drifters by causing them to drift out of school into the first job they can find, with no definite aim or purpose except to make a living. Through this...
That's why I tell you, say, a man get up every day and work in fees, say, I'm a living, but in our survival mode. Sean, big up your damn self. Big up on yourself. Boss, you know, you come down already. All of my streamers, them. Yeah, man, big up on yourself, man. Give thanks for your support this morning. We are going right in our show. We now wait, you know, because you know you're going to Twin Supreme show at its best.
Rick, I keep millions of people in fear of poverty all their lives. Through this fear, I lead them slowly but surely onward until they reach the point beyond which no individual ever has broken the drifting habit. Savings. I cause people to spend freely and to save sparingly, or not at all, until I take complete control of them through their fear of poverty. Environment. I cause people to drift into inharmonious and unpleasant environments in the home, in their places of occupation, in their relationship with relatives and acquaintances, and to remain there until I claim them through the habit of drifting. Dominating thoughts. I cause people to drift into the habit of thinking negative thoughts. This leads to negative acts and involves people in controversies and fills their minds with fears, thus paving the way for me to enter and control their minds. When I move in, I do so by appealing to people through negative thoughts, which they believe to be their own. I plant the seeds of negative thought in the minds of people through the pulpit, the newspapers, the moving pictures, the radio, and all other popular methods of appeal to the mind. I cause people to allow me to do their thinking for them because they are too lazy and too indifferent to think for themselves.
I conclude.
All right, my people, big up on yourself. All of who they stream, all of who listen, all of who tune in this morning. Me nah go no more in this fear thing this morning. Cause God know. With that just said, it's like putting the icing on the cake. The book here is very long, you know. CMA, you know, and the book here deal with a lot more information in terms of just that CMA because it talk about the government and how the government work with even this corona thing and mass fear and all of these things. But guess what? I'm saying I keep it short and spicy this morning. You see me? Half an hour gone, so no, I come down. We go into some energy work and how energy really works. We as people, see me. So we cover some fear matter and some fear topics. So we know all of who tune in this morning know have a better understanding. As me say, educate oneself. You see, when me get to understand, say, we never supposed to stop learning. Human being never supposed to stop learning. You see, anytime you get up and tell yourself, so yo, me stop going to school, if you see much booking at my house, I tell a man, say, brother, at one point, at one place, me reach in my life, brother. And me broke my foot, I tell us, brother, that I draw back for books. Books, me start draw back for, brother. And me start read all over again because we can read, we could read, but we never read with what? Level of understanding. Because there's levels in our life. That's why I'm over. I said in my league. What that mean? Because there's league to life. That's why the government have weed on Jamaica right and our cheap way. So if you have money and you can afford a lifestyle, if you got a hotel, go live and party every week, it's okay. Because you can afford it. So where you feel say government do? Segregate the people with what? Finances, brother, with all your pockets stay. So if your pocket can match the budget of going to hotel and live the lavish lifestyle, you can't go live, man. You can't go party, man. No, Corona not affect you. Corona not for you. Corona affect the regular people in Jamaica. They can't help themselves. And that's why you see government now force the people them now to take what? Vaccine. Remember, you know, the government, you know, now act off a film on a minor thing for himself, you know. Other government, a foreign government, I think, you know, to we, you know, as Jamaican, you know. Jamaican nice, you know, Jamaican foreign nice, you know, brother. And when last year nobody talk about Jamaica hearts, Jamaica culture, not about Jamaica. Jamaica have a culture, brother. Jamaica not even have a plan for Jamaica, brother. Because tell me how one country go forward without a plan. It's just like you build a house, brother. And the house now no plan. But you build say, where the house go? The house now go nowhere, brother. And I see a problem we see in our country. That's why we build this radio show, brother. You know, long we build a thing, brother, I have to come out with it. But guess what? We are all back as we are trying to find every excuse not to. But guess what? You have to reach one point in your life where you have to make a decision. And deciding what to do, I got every difference in your life this morning. So we'll get burn us on energy work or how energy really work. We'll check in for Bob Proctor a little bit, same here. Do a short little summary, and then you know we're going to close off with the show because we said we're going to make it short and spicy. Or we take a little beach trip in the morning, call the beach up in them. I don't go yet and see food, they try to take me over. But guess what? Energy. Energy is everything. Because guess what? Negative energy keep you what? Down or suppressed. Anytime you lose your willpower to keep your energy up, brother, any sickness, any problem, everything go come and take you over, brother, like a thief in the night. It's going to creep up on you. So you have to be aware how you think and how you act. And the people them too, when you're there around in your surroundings, brother, where you listen to, brother. Yeah, man, sometimes you have to minimize some people, brother. Sometimes you have to draw well for some people, brother, because some people now go nowhere away in a freedom circle. Just imagine in a circle with some people now go nowhere. Away you they go. You don't know. Give thanks to all our supporters, them all who are tuning in now, you know. Give thanks, you know. Pick up on yourself. So we go tune in from Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor go give film viewpoint about fear or fear work. You see me fear your energy and everything in there, brother. Energy is everything. Bob Proctor. Yeah, man.
Like you to hold your hand up in front
One
of
of the greatest motivational speaker for me. Yeah, man.
I want you to think of this.
Bob Proctor, man. Listen to the man for a while and you can check him out, see me. Listen to people who are teaching of positivity, brother. Because there's a lot of negativity out there.
11 kilowatt-hours per pound. Potential energy locked up in the electrons in the atoms of your body.
Turn up a box.
And at times you catch yourself saying, I just don't have any energy. Do you know that you are an energy source?
Yeah,
all the energy in the universe is 100% evenly present in all places.
You hear that? See me, so Orion, you ask a question, you say, you want me to do energy work, see me. So Orion, yeah, this the one here be here for you, give thanks and praise. We go in every little thing in the same way, but we are listening to people, so you can give a phone response, see me in the comment section. Tell you what you think, phone ideas, see me, share no question, because we go do them, you know, see me, and you know, the show short and spicy. Anybody want to call in number 530-3187 if you want to ask one question for the show live, so you can call in.
Is at the same time. It's our responsibility as human beings to release that energy and direct it towards something very constructive and creative. Now ask yourself this. If you could do or be anything you wanted, what would it be? Totally relax and let that picture fill your mind. And rather than reject it, write it out. Take a pen, sit down, and actually make a picture of it in words. Because whatever you write, you're capable of doing. I believe you have to be doing what you really want. And I think wants come right from our heart. I don't think we really decide on them. I think we accept them. I see us as spiritual beings, and I think spirits always for expansion and fuller expression.
Yeah, that I make me always know that, you know. We know so we are spiritual being. And your spirit can't dead, brother. So when we are worried about it, like, yo, God knows that I want the worst thing. No, brother. That's why you see fear factor them coming see me if you make when you feel like a time for dead now. Because if you're dead in a fear, brother, who go own you? The negative force control negative things are negative. Everything when negative go belongs to the devil. And everything when positive. So even in your dead stage, if you are dead, and you remain positive. Brother, where I God himself, brother. They're on your side and you're on God's side because you make a choice not to have this fear in your mind. So when you're dead negative and you're afraid of all these things, the devil have to appropriate your mind and your willpower and say, boy, yo, you have to me in that. Because see, I negative side, I battery your depend. So how you feel say energy work? How you feel say energy work? Huh?
How something energy in us that wants us to grow. And that's wants keep coming into our mind. When I was a little boy, my grandmother told me, she pretty well raised us, that we should be satisfied with what we've got. I think Grandma was wrong. I think we should be happy with what we've got, but I don't think we should ever be satisfied. I think dissatisfaction is a creative state. And so spirit keeps hitting us in the consciousness, want this, want that. If you're running, you want to run faster. If you're fighting, you want to be a better fighter. If you're dancing, you want to be a better dancer, and so on. Well, it's only when we're going after what we want that I think we're bringing the best to the party. And unfortunately, I think too many people deny that. They don't go after what they want. They settle for what they think they can do. And
it come like, and it bring me back to our relationship in the day. See me and brother, look how much we, as men, as women in Jamaica, what we do? We sacrifice some people and who we sacrifice never sacrifice, you know. Look on away there, see me, and who we sacrifice negative, you know. And we get up every day and say, yo, you know, say, yeah, bring me down, you're not going nowhere, but guess what? When we don't get the power and we don't have the will to move and come out of these people's life and go better with ourselves.
One of the tragedies in life, one of the blessings of life is that you can have what you want.
I mean,
go out and do something with your life. Make something out of it. Because life is short, boom, and then it's all over. Yeah. You have an obligation to yourself to find out exactly what you're capable of doing. And don't let the fact that you have problems slow you down. Everybody's got problems. The trick is overcome the problems and then keep on going. You're capable of doing anything you can dream. Now, not many people can back that up. I can back it up. I teach people how to execute the dreams. I know you can. So I'm not telling you something that I've written in a book or heard or read in a book. I'm telling you something I'm experiencing in my life. And you're quite capable of experiencing in your life.
I truly enjoyed your speech, and it primarily talks about belief.
Yeah,
it's all about believing in yourself.
It really is.
See, we go come to ending the show shortly from this same way. As me say, what Bowl and Bossy Entertainment, big up yourself. Waterlane Studios, and there you go. You can check them out. Same way as we say, crypto is here. Yeah, brother. One out of two things happening every time. You know, it's just like a relationship. You see me? You have a relationship with your phone, though. I have positive things on the phone, I have negative things on the phone, though. See me? Why we as people, every time we go on the media, we try to seek all our negative information. If me wake up this morning, as me wake up, me go check for everybody who dead, everybody who sick, every problem in the world. Remember, you know, brother, these things already happen already, you know, brother. Everything in our past and the present, right now. Everything exists right now. So if you choose good, what you ever get? Good you ever get. If you choose bad, what you ever get? Bad you ever get, brother. See me. So me look pan in a film we have in sense when I tell nobody how to think. I'm go always say that. Either way, you know, a man right. Because if he think negative, he right. If he think positive, he's still right. Because if you get up and look for shit, a shit you go find, brother. A man's mind is likened to a garden. If you plant fear in your mind, you plant positive in your mind, the two of them are going to grow. just as equal, just as even. So why you not try to eliminate one? The one when a good for you, you cannot eliminate that one them more and plant more. It's just like a man get up right now and say, yo, right now, I don't plant nothing, you know. And you look and you see you never plant and what you going to do? Try to go reap it out. How we look for life, man. Everybody look for life different. So get your own viewpoint. Twin Supreme Radio Show this morning at its best. Big up on yourself. As me say, I'm going to make it short and spicy. You see me? Big up for all of my viewers, them. All of my streamers, them. All of my supporters, them. I just want to share this. I want to comment same way. You understand? Subscribe to the channel. You understand? I just want to give you the support that we really need over here. Yes, sir. Everybody who are tuning in, give thanks and praise. I really appreciate all I want to see here. Big up in this man in Florida. You kind of busy, so you couldn't get to be on the show. Same as me say, no, the people them can be on the show because the number 530-3187. So, if a man have a question, where we are stream on Monday morning time, a man will ask something I want to share some information, the platform is here, and this is why we open the door here. The people can come knock. Because they say, seek and you find. No. And knock and the door shall open. Only if we not knock enough. We not seek enough. And we not ask. You see me? Every man sit down. It's just like in a relationship with some people and they sit down. And they must say, yo, you know, say more this. And he not ask, you know. He sit down and he must look for you like he must say, yo, you're supposed to give him. Or you're supposed to do it for him. But don't say brother. And when you ask, brother, a man know say you want this because a man can't think for you, a man don't know what you want. He go for both woman and he go for man. In all cases, in all lifetime, same way. So how we view things as people, I so work for it. Because if you view it negative, how we ever get it? It will come as negative as it can come, brother. And if you view it positive, how we ever get it? It will come as positive as it can come. Same way as I said, I want to shout out spice my people and big up on themselves. Everybody who tuned in this morning, that the show come to an end. Yeah, man, I like Twin Supreme fans and big up on yourself, man. Goofy's Garage, South Spring Road, Finest Mechanic and Bodywork Service, Bowl and Bossy Entertainment, Water Lane Studios. Always a check in, you know you go. Minx, big up your damn self. Bossy himself. Yeah, man, we here. So you know you go. Right there, big up on yourself. Thanks for streaming this morning. You know, it's been a pleasure. I feel good about the show this morning. I go up on the beach, go on a swim now. You know, get rid of the cold and get rid and come back for 100%. Thanks for the support, all of my streamers. Everybody will like right now. Give thanks. See? So the show come to an end.